Hello, friends. I'm Doug Terrell, and this is History and Comments for Thursday, the 9th day of September, 2021. In the year 9, there's a bit of treachery going on in the German forest. Rome would have loved to control that area, and anywhere they could, but even mighty Rome had its limits. Artemis was born into a German family that was somewhat sympathetic to Rome, and the young man learned Latin, spent about 5 years in the Roman army, and even gains Roman citizenship. The Roman general was looking to the 25-year-old to bridge relationships between the locals and the Roman army. Artemis did exactly the opposite and led local tribes in an ambush on 3 Roman legions in one of Rome's greatest defeats. The event is known as the Battle of Teutoburg Forest. The southern regions of present-day Germany will be part of the empire, along with everything south, including present-day England, France, Spain, Portugal, and Switzerland. But the northern and eastern regions of Germany, along with Poland, Scotland, and Ireland, will prove too much effort for the Romans. Mary is crowned Queen of Scots on this day in 1543. This is another one of those twisted tales involving royals in the British Isles. Her father had passed away 9 months earlier, and at the time, Mary was a mere 6 days old. She will be reared by family in France and marry the French king, but he dies, and the widow Mary moves to Scotland at the age of 19. There she marries a half-cousin, and they have a son who will become king at the young age of 1 year old. Mary had to abdicate due to political pressure. She seeks refuge in England, where her cousin is Queen Elizabeth I. But those two have issues, as Mary has a claim to the English throne also, and is favored by British Catholics. Mary is imprisoned and eventually beheaded in 1587 at the age of 44. 1776, the Continental Congress officially names its Union of States the United States. In 1791, Congress names the Federal District of Columbia Washington after the president. John Herschel is an English polymath, or a person gifted and studied in several sciences. In 1839, he takes the first glass plate photograph. In 1850, California is admitted as the 31st state, mostly on the basis of the great influx of gold seekers. 1890, Harlan Sanders is born outside of Henryville, Indiana. He spent his childhood living between central and southern Indiana. It may be as late as 1920, at the age of 30, before he lives on Kentucky soil, and that is only temporary. He's an amazing man who had worked at several very diverse jobs, from farm laborer to lawyer to tire and insurance salesman. In the 1982 biography, The Colonel, biographer John Ed Pierce wrote, Sanders had encountered repeated failure, largely through bullheadedness, a lack of self-control, impatience, and a self-righteous lack of diplomacy. Sanders had lied about his age and joined the Army at the age of 15 and was discharged at 17. The title Colonel is an honorary Kentucky title granted by the governor and not connected to military service. Singer Otis Redding is born in 1941. Redding's most successful song, On the Dock of the Bay, was released posthumously. When recorded, the producer and record label were not fond of the shift in style, but Redding was insistent. Country singer Freddie Weller is 74. Besides a solo career, he played backup guitar and as a member of the band Paul Revere and the Raiders. Former pro football quarterback Joe Theismann is 72. Actor Tom Wopat, also known as Luke Duke, is 70 today. While it did not seem so in the television series, Wopat was almost 9 years older than co-star John Schneider. English singer David Stewart is 69. Stewart paired with Annie Lennox in the 80s as the Eurythmics. Elvis Presley appeared on The Ed Sullivan Show on this day in 1956. Sullivan did not like Presley's style, but booked him for 3 appearances at an astounding rate of $50,000 for the 3. Presley's dancing and gyrations, as they were called, were widely disliked. And the story is, on The Sullivan Show, they did a close-ups when he danced to not corrupt the family show. While Sullivan may not have liked Presley's style, He did like the 60 million viewers, a whopping 82% of the television audience. The $50,000? That was equivalent to almost $500,000 today. Actor Adam Sandler is 55. The Canadian government gives a nod to the Francophones in 1969, making French equal to English, at least in the government. Remember the film E.T.? Well, Elliot is now 50. Elliot was played by actor Henry Thomas. It is learned in 1972 that the Mammoth Cave System in Kentucky is linked to the Flint Ridge Cave System a few miles to the northeast, making the caves in south-central Kentucky the longest in the world, but not the deepest. Musical prodigy Hunter Hayes is 30 today. Hayes was the youngest singer to top the country charts in 2011 with his debut single, Wanted. He is reported to be proficient at 30 different instruments. Given a bit of time, I might be able to name 30 instruments. Does acoustic and electric guitar count as two? And what about fiddle and violin? That's History and Comments for September the 9th. I'm Doug Terrell. Now go and do something worth remembering.